Hola, hola, buenos dias. Welcome to Burley Rambles. I'm Burley, and this is my channel where I share and ramble on about our life and experiences here in beautiful Costa Rica. The wife and I made the decision after dreaming for many years. We sold all our personal property a little over 4 years ago, took the plunge, and are now living, working full-time year-round in Costa Rica. I'm going to share with you some of our experiences, some of the obstacles and victories about life in Costa Rica for a gringo immigrant couple. Prior to moving to Costa Rica, we spent a lot of time on YouTube, reading blogs, learning all we could about Costa Rica. And then now that we've been living here a little over 4 years, I feel like we have something to offer to that pile of information. We have bought property, we have rented, we have built a home, planted a fruit forest, bought vehicles, went through the residency process, and are learning Spanish. Literalmente doing the thing 100%. And these 4 years have been absolutely the most rewarding and blessed years of our lives, but could also be regarded as some of the most difficult years of our lives as well. It has not been an easy, smooth process, but it has been a beautiful process. One of the first things when friends and family learn that we are living in Costa Rica, the hottest topic, the first thing everybody wants to know is cost of living. Is Costa Rica cheap? And no, Costa Rica is not cheap. You don't move to Costa Rica because it's cheap. Now, that being said, you can have a very affordable, comfortable life here. But if cost is your number one factor in moving somewhere, Costa Rica is not the place for you. A friend of mine, he's an expat, an immigrant here in Costa Rica, been living in this area for about 35 years. He's close to 80 years old, and his WhatsApp sign-off, his signature on WhatsApp is, if you don't have WhatsApp, get familiar with it, because almost all communication, businesses, governments, locals, is done over WhatsApp. So his signature on WhatsApp is adaptarse es la clave de la felicidad. Basically, the ability to adapt is the key to happiness. So this is great, in my opinion, great advice anywhere in the world, but it is especially true here in Costa Rica. The more flexible you are, the happier you're going to be, and the easier it is going to be to keep your cost of living lower. So this is a crucial key for Costa Rica, because I don't care if you're 20 or if you're 60 and you're living in the United States, you're accustomed to a certain way of doing things, and when you move to Costa Rica, all that is out the window. Like, it's not drastically different, but you will realize, it'll immediately point out if you are a flexible or an inflexible person, because let me tell you, I feel like I'm a flexible person, and Costa Rica has put me in some pretzels. So just be aware, the more flexible, the easier life is going to be here. Now, today, I'm going to talk about transportation. It's also important to understand that everything that I present is very, very subjective and coming from my point of view and where my wife and I put value on things. So it may apply to your life, it may not. There's millions of ways to do things. There's millions of correct way to do things. So my way is not the right way, but it is my way. So that said, let's talk about transportation. We're from the United States, we're gringos. And my whole life, from growing up on the farm to truck driving and to all my businesses I had, focused around transportation. So my culture and my life is heavily vehicle influenced. I moved to Costa Rica, and it is same in Costa Rica for me. So for me, having good transportation was the top of my list. The first thing you're going to notice when you start looking at transportation and vehicles here are they're extremely expensive. And the reason that is and this goes for almost everything that's in Costa Rica. Anything that is not manufactured or produced in Costa Rica, if it has to come across that border and be imported, they're subject to 40 to 60% import taxes. So that's huge in itself. That's between that and the fact that it's a smaller country and they don't deal in the wholesale value of larger nations. You're looking at double. By the time it's on the shelf and gets in your hand, you're looking at double cost for what a comparable item is in the United States. So that's the reason why the certain things are expensive. If it was imported, more than likely it's had that 50% import tax on it. And that's the same with vehicles. So let's talk about if you were to buy new, like a Toyota SR5 4Runner in the States, which your base model 4Runner is like 40 grand in the States. It's over $80,000 new here. So be aware that those prices are because of those import taxes. Now, on the flip side, the vehicles hold their value really well here. So it's going to be more money up front, but if you can swing it, I recommend getting the best vehicle you can and then maintaining it, because on the flip side, when you go to sell it, you'll recoup a lot of that money back. So that's the top end. If you buy new, it's expensive. Now, again, like if you're not a transportation guy, there are plenty of beautiful spots and areas in Costa Rica where you can come and live, and you do not need your own personal transportation. You can rely on public transportation, your feet, and a bicycle. And there are plenty of beautiful areas for that, but that's not my lifestyle, so I can't really add a lot of information to that lifestyle if that's what you're looking for. Now, on the other end, so where we are, we're in deep south, rural Guanacaste, and 90% of the time we're on dirt. We live on the side of a mountain. We're about 620 foot elevation. So we're using if we're in the truck, we're using four-wheel drive daily. And for all of Costa Rica, in my opinion, I recommend a 4x4 and a good set of tires to get the most out of your Costa Rica experience. Like here in this area, like if we want to go to Santa Teresa, we have to cross several rivers, drive out on the beach. It's a grueling terrain for automobiles. And also buying used, like you can most definitely find a very good used vehicle. The problem there is you definitely have to do your due diligence because, like I said, the terrain is hard here. It's harder on cars. But the problem is to maintain your vehicle is very expensive. Your oil, your filters, all your parts are much more expensive. So a lot of times the cars don't get maintained like they should here. So when you buy a used vehicle, you really have to do your due diligence to make sure you're getting a good vehicle and getting what you're paying for. We had a friend here, she bought a Toyota RAV4 6 or 7 months ago, and nice, beautiful looking truck. And literally her not long after buying it, it broke in half. The frame busted in half, was all rusted out. So it's important. Like the car looked beautiful, but it obviously came from the coast, and people got salt water underneath of it and weren't cleaning it up. So be aware. You have to do your due diligence. Now on the other side, like the area we live, I have a moto. I have a Honda XR 250 Tornado is my personal transportation for the area. My wife has a Honda 424 Tracks Quadriciclo, which is her personal transportation in the area. And that's how we go in and out of town, go down to the beach, and how we get around in town. When we go out of town, like to go grocery shopping, to go to hardware store looking for supplies, exploring Costa Rica, we also have a Toyota Land Cruiser that we use that for. But the locals, it's very popular that the locals only have a moto for transportation. So, and especially if you're coming and only here seasonally in a dry season, a moto is an awesome, fun way to get around, very inexpensive. Um, Anything under 200cc and lower does not have those import taxes on them. So you can get a Honda XR 150 brand new for about $2,500, surf rack and a basket on the back, and you're getting stuff done and having a good time. It's really fun. It is dangerous, so you have to be careful, but it is a very economical and good way to get around. Now above that, you have a four-wheeler, the Honda 4Track's brand new. Because of now you're in the import taxes, instead of paying $8,000, which you would buy in the States, you're going to pay $11,000 here, which is expensive. But now you do have a great source of transportation for many years. You put a basket on the back, you have a rack on the front, and you can go grocery shopping, do all your things. But be aware, like the locals normally get around on motos, and it's fun to do, but the dry season is extremely dusty, so have good eye protection. And the rainy season is extremely muddy and wet, so you have to be aware of that. I personally recommend a good 4x4 vehicle with a good set of tires. Now, other things that come along with a vehicle. So when you go to buy a vehicle, if you're buying secondhand from a person, you'll have to go to a lawyer. The lawyer will do all the paperwork to transfer the ownership, and it's a very easy process. It's an inexpensive process, but you do have to do that. And as we're talking about lawyers, it's another crucial piece. Definitely find yourself a good lawyer and build a relationship with him, because you'll need him a lot while you're in Costa Rica for doing anything. Now, if you buy a car new, the dealer will take care of it. If it's a used dealer, they'll have a lawyer come to the dealer themselves and take care of it. So that's not a problem. Now, to keep your car legal for circulation, the first thing, you have to keep a vehicle safety inspection current, and you'll do that through a company called DECRA, and that's usually every year. You have a sticker affixed to your window, so they put all that in the central computer system. So you have to have that safety inspection current at all times. It's easy to obtain as long as your car's in good working order. You just go online, make an appointment, and then just go do the process. The problem where we have to go to Nicoya, and it's like an hour and a half to get up there. So it takes a day to make it happen, but it is an easy process. So you have that safety inspection, that's good. The next thing you need every year, by the first of the year, you have to get a sticker for your marchamo. And the marchamo is a obligatory circulation liability insurance. So you have to have that marchamo, and that's every year. The marchamo, for if you had a new Hilux, is about $1,000 a year. On your moto, it's probably going to be about $160 a year, and then everything else, depending on what you have, falls in there. And these things are crucial to have, because if you go through a stop and you do not have these things, they can impound your vehicle, and then you don't want to get into that. That's going to be a huge headache to sort out. So make sure you keep your marchamo and your safety inspection al dia ready to go, and you won't have any troubles. On top of that, if you want full coverage insurance on top of that, you're looking at another $800 to $1,200 a year on that Hilux, and that's easy to obtain as well. They have good insurance. I've heard lots of good reviews. When people have had problems, it's been really simple to get your vehicle fixed or replaced or whatever needs to happen. So that's good, and you'll do that at the INS, and there's an office in Nicoya as well. Gas and diesel, expensive, about $5 a gallon, so be aware of that. The diesel is a little cheaper, and also your diesel vehicles get better fuel mileage, so I recommend, if you can swing it, to go with the diesel vehicle. Okay, I think that's about it over transportation in Costa Rica. I hope I provided a little bit of value for you. If you made it this far, thanks so much for listening. Buen día, nos vemos por la vida.